It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupica Show. I am One Bar, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about, did the Vikings defensive line improve or get worse compared to 2019? A lot of big changes along the defensive line for the Vikings this year. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's easy. We lost Everson, we lost Linval, we lost Weatherly. We got worse, but hold on to your hats. I got a couple of thoughts that might make you think otherwise. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the One Bar and Lupica Show. Like the videos. We're here every day talking purple. But let's hop right into it. So we lost two starters along the defensive line. We lost Everson Griffen, who is still currently a free agent. And we lost Linval Hungry, who is also Gonzo and went and signed with the Chargers. So we are left with two starters, Danielle Hunter, who is pretty damn good, as we know, and Shamar Stephen. Shamar Stephen was looked at as a guy that might be on the chopping block, might get cut this offseason, but as of yet, he is not, and really I don't see that happening with the weird offseason that we're probably going to be seeing. We're going to need as many familiar faces along that line as possible, so I see him sticking around. So Hunter and Shamar Stephen are here. Let's talk about the new guys taking their spots. So Michael Pierce, defensive tackle, big run stuffing beast, 340-pound big man that is all about stuffing the run. He will not get you many sacks. He is not going to get up in the quarterback's ass very often. I think it's fair to say that Michael Pierce, if he gets you a sack a year, he did pretty good. But he will be stuffing the run. Let's compare him to what we lost in Linval. Linval, as we know, has been a staple to this defensive line. He's been fantastic. One of the better free agent signings the Vikings have ever made. I'm going to go as far as say that, at least in the top 10. But, you know, he was getting old, a lot of injury issues with him as of late. So I actually think Michael Pierce is a mild upgrade. Just he's younger, fewer injuries, and he's just a little more nimble even at 340. So I'm not going to say it's a big difference, but I think the run stuffing ability is going to go up a little bit in the middle. So very happy about that. So let's go to the other side, or next to him, Everson Griffen. We lose him. Griffen still producing, still had a big year, 8 sacks, and really on those quarterback pressures, he probably could have had 11 sacks. Still, I mean, his leadership is one of the big things that concerns me that we're losing. The guy is just a spark plug out there. He's mildly nutty, which is fantastic. And we go from him to Afidi Odenigbo. Odenigbo, we all know his journey. He's been all over the place and comes back to the Vikings and made quite the impact last year in the later half of the season. Ended the year with 7 sacks. So I think as far as production, when you look at straight up numbers, Odenigbo, I think he's going to be able to hold his own when it comes to the sacks. I could imagine anywhere from 8 to 10 sacks for Odenigbo. My worry with him is against the run. So I think we're going to definitely be downgraded on that side of things. So I think we go down a little bit from Everson to Odenigbo, but Odenigbo, still a young buck, still has a long way to go. We all seen what Vikings coaching staff can do with defensive linemen. And I think Odenigbo is just a perfect example of that. And I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. I don't think he's really even come close. So that will be a very, very fun one to watch. So our starting defensive line with Hunter, with Shamar Stephen, with Michael Pierce, and with Odenigbo, I think it's a little bit down from the 2019 version. But when you look at potential, I think it's going to be better. But just straight up comparing year to year, I think the Everson Griffen leadership part of it is going to be a big change. I hope Danielle Hunter, or I hope Michael Pierce really step into that role and get this defense fired up, something that Griffen did. So let's look at the depth of this compared to last year. And, you know, it's pretty similar. We definitely made some changes when it comes to the draft, but the middle, the key thing that we'll be watching is going to be the middle of this defensive line. Last year we had Jalen Holmes, Jaleel Johnson, Hercules Mataafa, and Armon Watts as our depth. And we're bringing all those guys back along with 4th rounder James Lynch. And that's really the only change. We have David Moa, undrafted free agent, but he's got a long way to go if he thinks he's going to make the team. So really, there could be a few surprising cuts. I mean, not overly surprising. Hercules Mataafa, Jalen Holmes, and Jaleel Johnson, I think, are all on the table. James Lynch, I think the pass rushing guy in the middle is a big upgrade. And I think he is actually going to be in the mix pretty damn early on this defensive line, even to the point where he could be number 2 man up after Shamar Stephen in there to get after that quarterback. Because right now, that is our issue in the middle of the defensive line is we really don't have that guy that can get up in the quarterback's ass and take him down, because Shamar Stephen, Michael Pierce, they are not pass rushers. And Jalen Holmes, Hercules Mataafa have not proved much of anything. So I think James Lynch is going to get chucked up there, and I think he is actually going to be quite the improvement. I think he's going to surprise people. I think he could easily have 5 sacks as a rookie in just some spot duty. So I think the middle of the defensive line depth-wise actually improved, but I would also be prepared for your heartstrings that we could possibly lose a Hercules Mataafa or Jalen Holmes, so James Lynch can step in that spot. So let's look at the defensive ends. Again, we made some additions in the draft. As we know, 4th rounder DJ Wanham is coming in. He will be probably boosted up to a backup right off the bat. We got Anthony Zettel, Eddie Yarbrough, and not much competition for Wanham. We know that this coaching staff loved Wanham. They wanted Wanham, and they probably have plans for him. So I expect a good dose of him as a rookie. And then Kenny Willekes, 7th round guy that everybody loves. I mean, just go, if you have not watched anything on Kenny Willekes yet, go YouTube him. He's a little crazy, and I love it. And I think even as a 7th round guy, he has a very good chance of making the team. I don't know why you would hold on to an Eddie Yarbrough if you got somebody like Kenny Willekes with a higher potential. So depth wise, again, we lost Stephen Weatherly last year, which definitely hurts. He got his well-earned contract, but I don't see it taking much of a hit. 4th rounder Wanham, I think, is going to surprise people. And whether it's Zettel or Willekes, not going to be a huge difference. So I think that's almost breaking even. So when I look at this as a whole, did we get better? Did we get worse? Did we stay the same? I'm not going to say we stayed the same because that is lame. I am actually going to say that the defensive line got better. And you might just think I'm drinking purple Kool-Aid, but the depth is so vital to this defensive line. I think Pierce is an upgrade. I think it was a downgrade going from Griffen to Odenigbo. Not long-term. Remember, this is not potential. Long-term, Odenigbo could be pretty damn good. But I think that almost evens it out. So I'm giving it to the depth. I think the depth got bumped up a little bit. I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to be a lot more fired up. I think it's going to be younger, and it's going to be fun to watch. So overall, I actually think that this defensive line got better. Let me know in the comments below what you think, better or worse, and where I missed the mark on this one.